Today must be your birthday because I have 4 jobs that you can do in your pajamas that pay $35 an hour and equipment is provided. Now, some of these jobs are no phones and they provide training. They will not last long, so let's hop right in. So first up on our list is Mercury. So Mercury is a fintech company and they offer things related to payment transactions where you can send money, receive money, you can open a checking account, you can even do things like opening a credit card for your company or your personal business if you wanted to give out credit cards to your employees. So what they have available right now is going to be a dispute specialist role. And yes, this is going to be California and New York friendly, as well as being open to remote throughout the United States and Canada. Now, we've all heard of the dispute process. We've all participated in the dispute process at some point in time, but with this dispute intake and resolution process, that's what you're going to be dealing with day to day as it relates to banking transactions. Okay. So ACH returns, payments that have been returned to the bank. So you're going to manage a volume caseload within service level agreements, and you're going to do things related to submitting chargebacks to MasterCard. Now, what I like about this position is it is a high paying position, as we're about to see. I don't think that this is going to be any phone related role. To me, this is more of a data entry role, right? More of doing processing of documentation, right? You're sending documentation to MasterCard. You may have to send supporting documentation to other people within your internal departments. But let's look at how much this job pays. This job is going to pay you up to $90,000 a year, starting at $76,000 as the salary range. Listen, guys, that is $37, $38 an hour, up to about $45 an hour for those of you that don't live in New York and LA. If you do live in New York and LA, this is a 6-figure job, okay? $85K to $100K. And this is on top of what they pay you for your base salary. So you're going to get the base salary as well as the equity, which is free stock in the company. You're also going to get benefits, and you're also going to get things like paid parental leave. Again, many of these companies will give you a stipend to set up your office, as we're going to see in one of the next few job roles. You guys should be applying for this like ASAP. Okay. I've done the resumes for you. They're over in your portal at paybump.com. The link is down below in the description box. Let's see what this company also has. Now, a customer support lead for quality assurance. Now, I am showing you this by a special request, right? So I had Mr. Reggie that said, Jazzy, I have a certificate in manual QA testing. Do you have anything? Well, Reggie, this job is going to be for you. And then Miss B Lady said, thank you so much, Jazzy. Can you find us some part-time remote jobs? Absolutely. I've got some part-time jobs here. And then Miss Dominique said, I'd love to get into a role as a fraud and identity specialist, right? I can help you do that, Miss Dominique. So thank you all for being very specific about what you're looking for. That helps me locate the right kinds of jobs for you guys. So when we look at these positions related to quality assurance, like what Mr. Reggie was looking for, with this position, it says you're going to basically be kind of focusing on a small cohort of QA analysts. So if you've got any sort of experience in auditing, monitoring, compliance, if you've ever worked in banking, if you've ever worked in any type of government, you've ever done security, this is going to be perfect, and it's going to align perfectly with that quality assurance experience that they are ultimately looking for. So it says you're going to help build up the foundations of a world-class customer experience quality assurance program, okay? Beginning with the vendor analysis and implementation of the software. So you could be doing things related to testing out the software to see if a website is loading properly, to see if the functionality within that website is acting as it should be acting, if there are any bugs within the code, if something about the website seems off, if the user experience isn't perfect, you would be the person that would be documenting some of those things, as well as kind of checking in with your teammates to make sure that they are also documenting different bugs or challenges or things that are happening within this QA testing process, right? So if you've got experience managing people, that's what they're directly looking for. If you don't have that experience, but you've got a certificate like Mr. Reggie and you've got some sort of education around quality assurance, this is going to be perfect for you guys, especially those of you that have worked in customer experience at all, right? Many of you have done that already, but let's get into this pay scale, okay? Because outside of San Francisco, it starts at 100K and it goes to almost 130K, right? And if you do live in the Bay Area, this is going to go from 115 to $144,000 to basically make sure that everybody is doing what they're supposed to be doing. All right. This is you checking out different software to see if the software is doing what it needs to be doing. You're making sure that you can log into it, log out. There are no bugs within the actual code that's being written, all that good stuff. So a lot of you are going to qualify for this job. I need you to apply for this like ASAP, right? Because this is not going to last long. Now, the next job that we've got available is going to be with Game Time. If you guys have ever wanted to go to like a concert or like a baseball or a football game, Game Time is where you would come to purchase those tickets. And right now, what they are hiring for is a fraud and chargebacks analyst, right? So we were just talking about the whole dispute process in that previous role. Well, with this one, it's similar. But what you're going to do is be looking at suspicious patterns and potential fraud cases, and you're going to monitor transactions for potential fraud. So if there is a user account that normally only purchases 2 tickets per year, and all of a sudden you see from their account, they've purchased 1,000 tickets, you may want to throw up a red flag and say, hey, wait a minute, that doesn't seem right. Let's investigate that, right? So you may have to do some preliminary investigations, especially if people call in or they send in an email saying, hey, I'm locked out of my account. Someone's hacked me. I need you to escalate this. So you might be the person that's escalating these high value cases to the more senior analysts or to management to ultimately investigate any sort of erroneous activity that they see happening, right? So you might do some routine chargeback representments, which is where you're representing Game Time and you're preparing documentation to submit as evidence for those disputes. So a lot of you have done this. You've worked in banking. Even if you have not done it directly, you as a consumer, you've gone through the dispute process. You understand what that chargeback process looks like. And this is also something that they will offer you some training on this as well. They're not just going to like throw you in there with the wolves and, just tell you to go for it. So again, if you've got a year working in any type of payments, customer support, fraud, that's going to be perfect. If you've got any experience with Excel, Google Sheets, or SQL, again, that's going to be a big bonus. So what they're ultimately paying is going to be 50 to 60K. That's about $25 to $30 per hour. If you got a bunch of fraud experience, I would be asking the recruiter and the hiring manager if they could consider bringing me in at a more senior level so that hopefully this pay range goes from more like 60 to 80,000 per year, depending on your actual experience. But what is cool is once you get this job, they give you $1,000 to set up your home office. So they're going to provide you with an actual laptop, probably an additional like monitor and that good stuff. That isn't included in your $1,000. This $1,000 is on top of the equipment that they're going to give you for you to do whatever you want to your office. You can buy a desk, you can buy a rug, you can buy picture frames, put them on the wall. This is for your office setup, and no, you do not have to pay this back, right? So all the medical, dental, and vision benefits that you could want. They've also got fertility benefits as well as paid parental leave for those of you that are expecting or planning to expand your family. Now, one more job that we have here is going to be the money customer experience agent for Robinhood. You guys have probably seen Robinhood if you've ever tried to invest in stock or if you ever wanted to kind of like just educate yourself on stock. This is going to be remote throughout the US, unless you live in one of these two cities, then you would have to go into the office. But with this job, you're going to essentially be a part of the customer experience team. So you might answer questions, or you might have to escalate things related to if there's an issue with someone's account, or if there is a trend that could indicate something like a product bug or issue. Like if the app is starting to act super glitchy, you might be the person that's escalating that up to the engineering team to say, hey, just want to let you guys know, we're getting a bunch of tickets related to this happening on the app, right? So I love that this says that they want you to have experience with text or email customer support, because that tells me that this is probably not going to be a phone's role. This is going to be more of email support or texting, customers from whatever phone number they provide for that customer support. Again, Zendesk is another form of customer sort of interaction, but this is where you're also doing tickets. So if you've got any of that experience, it's going to make you stand out. Again, they've got a bunch of benefits for you guys, and they're going to pay 20 to 24 throughout the US mostly, right? 20 to 24 is going to be their salary range. But again, this is great experience to have on your resume, because Robinhood is a very well-known company. And I do apologize, guys. My voice is going out. Jazzy is still under the weather, but I had to bring you guys these jobs because it's very important to me that you all succeed and that you secure the bag. So forgive me if my voice is starting to give out. But I did want to give you guys a gentle reminder, especially those of you looking for part-time work. Williams-Sonoma is still hiring for part-time work, right? If you go here under their customer service representative, you'll see that they've got a part-time position. In fact, if you go under openings, it's going to show you that they've got full-time and part-time positions for all sites. I'm not sure why so many people are like, I can't find it. It's here. I promise you. Jazzy's not doing any magic. They are hiring throughout the end of the year into November of 2024. So make sure you are applying. Guys, it starts out at $15 an hour. This is so beginner friendly, so entry level friendly. It's such a great segue into careers, into IT, into sales, into tech support, into help desk support. Like, this job is going to prepare you for so many different career paths, right? So it's great for those of you just needing extra money, but it's also great for people that are just totally new to this side of the career industry, right? And they do provide you with training. It's like 4 weeks of training. And again, it's perfect for high schoolers. It is perfect for college students, because they literally let you create your own schedule. So make sure you are applying for this. The resumes are done for this. And just a gentle reminder, Cherry is still hiring for that collection specialist, doing things related to accounts payables. So if you are someone that has ever worked in accounts payables and accounts receivables, this is going to be perfect for you, because you guys are already familiar with the collections process, that full cycle process of sending out those reminders. Sometimes it's sending out invoices or reminder invoices to companies. This isn't where you're talking to customers all day. You're talking to companies. These are companies that Cherry is working with, to my knowledge. Now, you may talk to some customers, but this is to my knowledge. So with what we just went over, they're paying pretty darn good. $75K per year plus $25K in uncapped commission. On top of that, it's $30K in equity. Equity is stock in the company. Stock is just free money for you to own part of the company. They are paying $100K a year for collections, guys. Have you ever heard of that much being paid for collections? That's just freaking ridiculous, right? So make sure you apply for that ASAP. And then Figma has a similar role, paying $40 to $71 an hour. They've got a credit and collections analyst role, again, for you people that have worked in accounts receivable. I think this one is actually the one where you're reaching out to corporations, like actual companies. And I think the other one, maybe you're reaching out to consumers, but you want to make sure you ask the recruiter if you're going to be more consumer based or if this is going to be kind of like B2C, business to corporation based. But make sure you're asking that question, because it's very important, because some people prefer to work with individual customers and some people are like, no, I would rather work, where I'm talking to different companies. But again, I am not seeing where this is necessarily phone based. This seems to be more of sending out invoices, as it kind of says up here, and also looking at things related to disputed items. So again, if you've ever worked in disputes, if you've ever had to do anything related to billing or credit notes, that's going to be something that is going to make you stand out. So make sure you are applying for this ASAP. Another position that we've talked about in the past is Hotel Engine. They've got a member support associate position, and Hotel Engine is looking for those people that can work nights, weekends, and holidays, particularly people that can work the PM night shift, right? So they're paying $20 an hour. But again, this is going to be very entry level friendly because it's the hospitality industry. It's also where they're providing email support to people that are doing reservations for hotels. These are more like corporations that reserve hotels for their employees that are traveling. So very, very awesome opportunity here if you're someone that enjoys the hospitality industry. Now, if you're still looking for some interview help, I would encourage you to definitely check out my interview videos. I've done them for you guys. And these are the videos where everybody is talking about that whole magic wand question. If you go into my portal, you will see more about that. But you guys, it works like a charm. So go ahead and check these out because as we always say, if you stay ready, you never ever have to get ready. Oh,